12 News starts now.
Coming up, dozens of owls fall from the Arizona sky. Researchers now racing to figure out what's going on.
Plus, Arizona's bald eagle population is growing. We're getting a rare look at what it takes to protect this majestic bird.
And video of a surprise guest swimmer is making waves online. We talked to a couple who found a Gila monster cooling off in their pool. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of 12 News. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kariba Devine. Today we're taking an in-depth look at the critters and creatures that make Arizona so unique. We'll also be highlighting the people working hard to protect Arizona's desert animals and make sure that they can thrive for years to come.
Let's start with a big question on the minds of researchers. As our temperatures get more extreme, will our desert animals be able to adapt?
12 News journalist William Pitts talked to experts who are warning it may be too hot for some of these creatures to survive.
When this place is finished, it will be home to some new tenants at the Phoenix Zoo.
The lizards we're going to be putting in, the native Sonoran desert lizards, obviously are used to warm weather, but every year it gets hotter and hotter for longer.
Lizards can't regulate their body temperature, so when it's hot, so are they. They usually just go underground or in the shade, but that's not enough anymore.
Reptiles like warm weather, but the extreme triple digits, they're not a fan of. Growing up, I never thought we would have to worry about cooling off desert reptiles, but we do.
So the desert lizards, who've survived who knows how long in the Arizona desert, are getting air conditioning.
We're going to run cold water through the concrete to keep them cooled down even more.
That's in the zoo. But what happens in the wild when it's too hot?
And as usually happens during the summer, the snakes go underground, and if it stays hot, they'll sometimes stay underground for a month or so during the hottest part of the summer. But then after the heat started to subside late in the summer and early fall, these guys didn't come up.
Mike Cardwell studies rattlesnakes for the Arizona Poison Center in Tucson. They had 2 snakes radio tagged in 2023, and then they stopped moving.
In 25 years of radio tracking a lot of rattlesnakes in the Mojave Desert and the Sonoran Desert, I never had a rattlesnake fail to emerge after being underground during the summer.
Those rattlesnakes had died. Cardwell thinks they died during a historically bad heat wave, a string of days over 110 degrees. The ground didn't cool off enough and stayed hotter than the snakes could survive. Wildlife experts say if this keeps up, and by all accounts it probably will, we're looking at a bunch of wildlife changes.
But is it entirely possible that in the future, some of these animals that we see around Phoenix aren't going to be around Phoenix anymore?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, we're headed for a direction where the climate is changing faster than species can evolve to adapt to it.
In Phoenix, William Pitts, 12 News.
Scientists are investigating after dozens of owls migrating over Phoenix wound up literally falling out of the sky.
As 12 News journalist Joe Dana shows us, an exhaustive forensic study is underway to pinpoint the cause.
54 owls fall from the sky in the Arizona desert. The question is, what happened?
John Bello was just starting work at this North Valley petroglyph preserve
that you'll have an opportunity to see today.
When he found the poor little guy.
And I looked down in between the crack and the sidewalk and noticed that there was an owl down there.
Not normal.
Not normal.
Bello contacted a bird researcher who told him to put the deceased owl on ice. That researcher knew something strange was happening. Bello's discovery was one of 54 flammulated owls found in the Phoenix area last year between September and October, all brought to Valley Bird Rescues. That's compared to just 9 owls of the same species turned in the previous year and 3 before that.
You've got a mystery on your hands.
Yeah, we are exploring a mortality event that occurred with a small migratory insectivore owl.
Jason Struthers is a veterinary pathologist at Midwestern University in Glendale, trying to figure out just what happened.
So this would be number 42.
They're so little.
Yeah, and it's amazing that they can easily fly 300 miles in a day.
So they either fell from the sky, died after landing, or they were found suffering.
Exactly. Lots of them were found in pools.
13 of the owls were rehabbed. The carcasses of the other 41 are now under the microscope being studied at Midwestern and 2 other colleges.
We open the carcass and look at all the organs to look at types of poisons that they might be exposed to. So we try to cover all our bases by being extremely complete with sampling all the organs.
Struthers has one big clue. A fall heat wave last year overlapped with the owl discoveries.
The temperatures were around 2.4 degrees Fahrenheit greater this past year than the year prior. 39 of the 41, they have damage to the kidneys. That could be a concern that they're experiencing dehydration.
After all tests are complete, if heat remains the most likely cause, it will demonstrate how even small changes in temperature can have debilitating effects on this species.
We hope to really paint a picture and whether this will be a repeating issue that will be more common as the Sonoran Desert temperatures continue to increase.
A migration mystery with an answer likely in reach. And it's thanks to people across the valley like John, who cared enough to take a moment out of their day to act.
There's a term that's used for that called citizen science. You still can play the role of a scientist by providing little bits of data that other scientists can use to better understand a species, better understand an environment.
I think it's really important that we have that natural wonder and curiosity, especially when it comes with nature. We're all here together to try and survive and thrive in this desert environment.
Joe Dana, 12 News.
We're getting a rare look at what it takes to protect Arizona's bald eagle population. Our cameras were there as biologists with Arizona Game and Fish rappelled down a cliff high above Lake Pleasant to check on 3 young eaglets. Here's 12 News journalist Kyle Simchuk.
A short boat ride across Lake Pleasant followed by a 20-minute hike on a burro trail, we reach our destination, putting mom and dad on high alert.
Oh, they're kind of mad at me right now.
In this nest on a cliff are 3 baby bald eagles, only 5 weeks old. Today, they'll leave their nest for the first time in a duffel bag.
We want to make sure they're doing well, make sure they don't have problems with parasites in the nest. It gives us a chance to remove fishing line and fishing hooks from the nest if they've come in with the fish that's been brought in.
Bald eagles don't put their nests in the easiest places, so today, a biologist with Arizona Game and Fish had to rappel down this cliff high above Lake Pleasant to collect the eaglets. The hoods over their heads keep them calm, and the booties over their claws keep everyone safe.
As you can see right now, he's all dark feathered. He'll be all dark feathered that first year. And it won't be until he's 5 years old before he has that full white head and white tail.
Biologists take measurements, weigh the eaglets, screen them for bird flu, then attach a metal band to their legs.
We're able to track these birds for the rest of their lives, gives us a lifetime of information. It's been really valuable as one of our tools for managing this population.
Bald eagles were listed as an endangered species decades ago. In the late 70s, only 11 breeding pairs were identified in Arizona.
Largely due to widespread reproductive failure from DDT. It was causing really thin eggshell fragments, and the eggs would crack, and no young were being produced.
Today, Arizona is home to nearly 100 adult breeding pairs who hatched a record 96 eaglets last breeding season.
We record everything that they do, all of their behavior in and around the nest.
Griffin Lay and Audrey Jordan are nest watchers working with Game and Fish to monitor nests like these from afar.
You can really tell the difference in the mating pair bond. These guys are more a little strictly business, you know, honey, bring the food, I'm leaving now.
Before they were safely delivered back to their nests, the eaglets pose for some photos. It'll be several more weeks until they're ready to fly.
Get out there, try and find some bald eagles, check them out.
In a respectful way.
But watch them from a distance. Watch them from a distance and appreciate them for the awesome animals that they are.
Reporting from Lake Pleasant, Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
In 2024, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service proposed putting certain giraffes on the endangered species list. 12 News journalist Allison Rodriguez went to the Phoenix Zoo to see how your visits are helping save these animals.
Their numbers are dropping shockingly fast out there.
Liesl King from the Phoenix Zoo is talking about giraffes, once abundant in the wild, now facing major population declines.
We're used to thinking of them as fairly numerous, that you get to see them easily when you go on safari to Africa, but that might not be the case for a lot longer.
In late 2024, U.S. Fish and Wildlife officials proposed adding certain giraffes to the endangered species list in order to protect them. 4 species are included in the proposal, and one of them is the Maasai giraffe, and the Phoenix Zoo has 4 of them.
These guys lost about 40% of their population over the last 10 years.
U.S. officials want them listed as threatened, but West African giraffe numbers, those have dropped by 77%. Those species would be listed as endangered, as less than 700 remain, down from more than 25,000. So why is this happening? Well, King says there are many different threats in the wild.
Probably the biggest one is just habitat loss.
Essentially, the animal is being squeezed out.
Urban sprawl sometimes happens, and that just takes up land that the giraffe have been living on.
Poaching is also a big problem.
A lot of it's for bushmeat, so it's actually people are hunting giraffe to try to survive.
So what can we do in Arizona to help an animal thousands of miles away? It starts with a trip to the zoo. Phoenix is part of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums Saving Animals from Extinction program. It's called SAFE. They give funds to SAFE, which
uses that money to fund conservation projects in the wild.
Plus, $5 of every Phoenix Zoo membership and $2 of every gate admission goes to the conservation fund at the zoo. If you ask King, it's a no-brainer to stop this situation from getting worse. And you think they should be listed?
Absolutely.
They need the protection.
Absolutely, they need the protection.
That was Allison Rodriguez reporting. You can see the zoo's conservation projects and partners by visiting its website, which is phoenixzoo.org.
Still ahead, a man is making it his life's work to document every single species on Earth. Come aboard the Photo Ark.
Valor, dedication, sacrifice. Members of our military make a positive impact on our communities long after they take off the uniform. That's why Simplify Heating and Cooling is proud to join 12 News in honoring those who serve. We're seeking nominations for those who inspire, who give, and who protect. Share their story and help us shine a light on their selfless service. Nominate your hero today at 12news.com/those who serve. Let's celebrate the brave men and women who give so much for our freedom.
There's a growing trend that you can see and maybe even hear in Arizona backyards. Families and local businesses behind the backyard chicken craze are pointing to several different factors for the increase.
Homegrown chickens are something that's been growing in popularity for years, and now small businesses say they're feeling the demand. 12 News journalist Jen Wall explores the chicken craze.
I see the chick.
In this Phoenix classroom,
They have shop clothes.
an agriculture lesson is hatching.
Our kindergartner Ellie, she was looking at the chickies last year.
Kindergartners Elia and Dario learning about life beyond the books.
And then one was like,
And so they stay in here, they can be nice and warm still, and every once in a while we'll take them out and play with them.
Teacher Lauren DeHart and her students are part of Hatch the Chicken.
Really wanted to find a program where we could give that hands-on experience to the children, but we didn't know how to do it in an ethical way because what do you do with the chicks after they hatch?
Jen Tompkins runs the Hatch the Chicken program.
5 weeks total, 3 weeks of the eggs in the incubator, 2 weeks of baby chicks. When they're not so cute, then we take them back.
Tompkins delivers everything to hatch healthy baby chicks and take care of them in their first few weeks of life.
To participate in hatching baby chicks without actually needing to raise the baby chicks.
And when the hatch program is over,
they go back to the farm that the eggs came from, and either they are used to be raised up for egg production locally or for Rent the Chicken hens.
Rent the Chicken, another of Tompkins' businesses.
It's a 6-month rental, but if it's not a good fit, our renters can chicken out.
And a service available in Arizona.
Allowing people to start with egg-laying hens in their backyard for fresh eggs without the commitment.
Tompkins says they give support and a portable chicken coop with 2 to 4 egg-laying hens. 2 hens laying about a dozen eggs a week. A business idea Jen and her husband hatched more than a decade ago.
A search for crazy business ideas. Rent the Chicken shows up. Our brand shows up.
Oh, look at that. 2 eggs from today. An idea picking up during COVID and growing through years of egg shortages.
Not everybody knows how to get started, and we've done all the legwork.
A new law went into effect this year, opening the door to backyard chickens in our state.
That was Jen Wall reporting. Tompkins says their rentals and pricing are comparable to starting on your own with backyard hens. A standard rental package is about $850.
The construction of solar farms in the Arizona desert are considered necessary for a clean energy future, but they're pushing out an iconic bird of prey from their underground homes. 12 News journalist Joe Dana explains how volunteers are working to give these tiny refugees a chance at survival.
We all want a house with good bones.
Our materials are going to last forever.
Spacious hallways and a living space to stretch your wings.
We try to give them something that has a long lifetime.
Volunteers are constructing 25 underground burrows in this isolated field near Paulden. The future tenants are dozens of western burrowing owls.
They're part of integrated pest management. They eat all the stuff the farmers don't want.
These wide-eyed wonders are important for the ecosystem. Longtime burrow builder Greg Clark also admits.
I try to keep as impassionate as I can, but they're adorable. They have antics, they chase each other around.
Sadly, these icons of the West have been chased out of their homes. For decades, the culprit has been urban sprawl. More recently, the construction of solar farms. Climate change is also making life tough.
As the drought has gone on for like 20 years, the normal grassland that produces food, it's just almost gone.
It's here at the Wild at Heart Rehabilitation Center in Cave Creek where the burrowing owls will have a layover before they are sent to their next home.
A successful move is a process that takes several weeks and is revealed by images like these.
We use a burrow camera to put it down inside and check to see if the owls laid eggs. If they migrate, they can come back to that burrow.
An Arizona native that called this place home long before we arrived.
Yes!
Getting a little help to continue thriving. Joe Dana, 12 News.
Now, we have a story about a man who's building an ark and filling it with animals. The animals aren't in pairs, and this ark isn't even a ship.
In the future, this photo ark could be the only place that you'll be able to see some very rare and beautiful animals. And for that reason, the man building it is making it his life's work. Troy Hayden has his story.
Bebop, the bicolored spined porcupine, is not your typical cover model, but one of the most famous photographers in the world came here to the valley to get a perfect shot.
We photograph tigers and gorillas and elephants, but really the photo ark's built for the smaller things that people will have never heard of before.
Joel Sartori is working on an ambitious project called Photo Ark, a plan from National Geographic to photograph all 25,000 species of animals known to be in human care. And he works with a lot of the smaller ones. Like this, the Derby's woolly opossum. Sartori travels the world finding animals like this, fitting them sometimes into tiny studios, or even nudging larger animals to get in front of big backdrops, getting amazing shots.
The one light failed, but it still looks kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah.
We caught up with Joel at the Wildlife World Zoo in the West Valley. It's the second time he's photographed animals here. During this session at the zoo, he worked with species like mule deer. The zoo staff carefully placing food in front of the backdrop so Joel could get a great shot. And he got pictures of lesser-known animals like the black-tailed hairy dwarf porcupine, the unique-looking curassow, the purplish-backed jay, an ocellated turkey, and a fallow deer.
We're trying to photograph every captive species in the world over about a 25-year period or so to just get the public to realize there's so much amazing wildlife out there. It's worth saving. It's really worth saving.
Sartori spent 2 days here in the valley, crossing nearly a dozen animals off of his list, adding to the ark. He spends a lot of time in zoos for his work and thinks they serve a very important purpose in this digital age.
A good zoo where there's abundant attention and care and a lot is an education center. They're not only conservation centers, but they are teaching the next generation that these animals are amazing. And I just think when we lose good zoos, good aquariums, and that educational component where people can go and see and smell and hear, sometimes touch a wild animal, it changes people. It makes them realize that it's a really big deal to save these and their habitats.
With a little more than 8,000 animals left to photograph to reach his goal, Sartori always has to look ahead to completely load up the ark.
It's all fascinating to me, and people ask me what my favorite is, and I always say the next one. The next one. How could it be any different, right?
After the break, a backyard pool, a Gila monster, and a bug hitching a ride. The strange swim in southern Arizona that had the internet buzzing.
News and 12 Plus keep you in the loop by reporting more from the rapidly growing West Valley.
We're outside Surprise City Hall.
More homes, jobs, and unexpected challenges expanding west.
In Peoria, they'll have the resources ready.
12 News, dedicated to the West Valley.
Explosive is one word for what's happening.
West Valley in the Loop on 12 News and streaming on 12 Plus. Download on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices.
An Arizona backyard pool had an unexpected visitor as a couple found a Gila monster struggling to swim.
It happened in Vail, Arizona, which is a couple of hours south of the valley. The unusual sight, of course, these days, everything caught on camera. 12 News journalist Kyle Simchuk explains how the video was making waves online.
Moving from Oregon to southern Arizona, Alyssa Corrado knew life would look different in the desert. And in the last 2 years she's lived in Vail, she's seen plenty of critters.
From right behind my house, it's just miles of open desert. So there's everything. I've seen snakes, I've seen barn owls, all the creepy crawlies, the tarantulas.
But even she wasn't prepared for what ended up in her swimming pool.
I came out to put some new cushions on my lawn chairs, and we noticed it's swimming in the pool. Luckily, the dogs weren't out.
A Gila monster, venomous, rare, and apparently trapped in the pool, paddling for its life.
It happened so fast, and I just saw him there, and when I got close, he had the little hitchhiker on his back. He had that big black bug on him. Like, oh my gosh, what a scene.
Corrado and her husband quickly grabbed a pool net and scooped the lizard out to safety, along with his buggy plus one.
I have no idea how long it could have been in there for.
After being plucked from the pool, this lucky Gila monster struck a pose.
He sat there for a little bit, with his head up, and he looked like he had this little smile on his face. It was really cute.
This young Gila monster was safely relocated. Corrado and her husband posted video of the rescue to the Arizona Creepy Crawlers and Desert Beauty Facebook page. It's since racked up nearly 5,000 likes.
I know, that's wild. I had no idea. I thought they were more common. I saw another one this morning. I was driving right down my street and there was one crossing.
This marks the 5th Gila monster she spotted in her time in Arizona. And while that might be unnerving for some,
it's fun. Yeah, I love the landscape, the plants, the animals.
Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
Well, she saved that Gila monster's life.
And listen, they may be dangerous, but that is absolutely adorable for some reason, watching that thing swim in the water. It just looks so cute.
And so uniquely Arizona.
I know, right? Okay, well, thanks everyone so much for joining us for this special edition of 12 News.
And don't forget, you can find more 12 News content streaming exclusively on 12 Plus. Download 12 Plus on your TV and watch us free anytime. It's available on Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku devices.
Your mornings don't stop.
And now, neither do we. Welcome to Today in AZ. 12 News Today in AZ keeps going.
Expanding to 9 a.m. on the 12 Plus streaming app.
More live weather. More live traffic updates.
More breaking news. Live from 4:26 a.m. to 9.
12 News Today in AZ, now streaming until 9 a.m. on 12 Plus.
Download on your TV and watch for free.